Howard here. Hey, today is the last day of Hanukkah, the day after Christmas, and the first day of Kwanzaa, one of the few years when these holy days overlap. What a perfect time to make a birthday tribute. Jeannie, I'll never forget the first time I met you. My friend Lorne and I were just 15 years old, and we had just hitchhiked from Toronto to Montreal to visit my sister Barbara and her boyfriend Bill, later to be her husband. Barb and Bill met you and Chris through a mutual friend, Tracy. That evening, we ended up at Chris's parents' home in Westmount. You and Chris were with Krista, who was only a few weeks old at the time. You, Chris, Barb, and Bill decided to go out for the evening. I had just met you and thought surely you would be taking the baby with you. I was wrong. You enthusiastically told Lorne and I that we were about to be babysitters. Both of us were the youngest in our family, which means we knew absolutely nothing about babies. Still, you entrusted us with baby Krista. You gave us a bottle, milk, a cloth diaper, a few instructions, and a lot of reassurance. And then you left. Krista was so cute and slept most of the time. But once she was awake, she began to cry. Lorne and I became somewhat terrified. We got out the milk, which worked for a little while, but soon the crying started once more. Lorne warned me that diapers are like guns. He said, you should always assume they're loaded. We're still trying to figure out the best way to change the baby when you arrived home to find Krista calm and peaceful, while Lorne and I were in need of a clean diaper. That evening, we chatted late into the night. I happened to mention that I like dogs, and you and Chris talked about your place in Elgin, the horses, and the lake. It was a wonderfully spent evening. Now, I didn't have a car in those days, and I did get a motorcycle, but I soon forgot about the invitation. But sometime later, I got a job at McGill and moved to Montreal. I lived in a shabby apartment near Notre Dame and Guy, and one day I got an unexpected knock on the door. It was Chris, with a box that had a small puppy about the size of an old-fashioned telephone. The best surprise ever. I named her Lurky because she would lurk around in the dark at night before falling asleep beside the cat. I grew to love that puppy. It was Lurky that cemented my relationship with you and your family and spurred me to make regular visits to the farm. I would show up with my camera around my neck, greeting the horses and playing with the dogs. I got some great shots of the kids and the animals. At the beginning, it was just Nenny, Mike, and baby Krista, and Dollar Dog and Hashish. But then each year as the family grew, I took more and more snaps, as all the kids loved to pose for me. In fact, I had a t-shirt that said, "Beware, I may snap at any time." However, getting a photo of Eugene was a real challenge. I took hundreds of photos, but you were only in a few. Even so, the photos show a beautiful history of your children growing up. I loved those visits where I would spend time talking with you. You were always busy, but listening to whatever I had to say, providing comfort and encouragement. You were never afraid to offer up sage advice, and you had something to say on just about everything. My children received a terrific education, all because of you. Back in the 70s, you told me about the wonderful Maria Montessori and her ideas on learning and teaching tools for young children. Years later, Kathy and I made sure all 3 of our kids attended a certified Montessori school. It was a parent-run school, and at one point, I was chairman of the school board. In this photo, you can see Pearl, Mark, and Naomi. And in the next photo, taken a few months ago, you can see my whole family as they are now, grown up, and they're all married. And Kathy and I have 4 beautiful grandchildren. One was born just 2 weeks ago. Jeannie, you're one of the nicest people I know. You are thoughtful and considerate, ever optimistic, open-minded and accepting, very opinionated, spiritually dedicated, and devoted to your family and friends. Your ability to recognize the best part of each person in your life is truly a gift from God. You have been and are a role model for so many people besides your children, showing others how to treat people with kindness and respect. Enjoy your special day, and here's a big hug from me. And I'm going to end this video with my favorite family photo, even though Helena and John are missing in it. And I'm